Submitted for your approval, Mr. Arthur Miller, a man of mid-sized dreams and bottom-shelf expectations. Arthur has spent 40 years walking a treadmill of mediocrity, accepting the lukewarm coffee of life and the frequent slights of a world that barely notices he's there. But today, Arthur has decided to change. He's looking in the mirror and demanding more. Better clothes, better company, a better version of the man staring back at him. It's called having standards, a noble pursuit in any other zip code. But Arthur is about to find that, in this particular neighborhood, when you raise the bar for yourself, the universe has a way of raising the stakes. Arthur Miller stood at the deli counter, his jaw set. For 20 years he had accepted good enough. He'd accepted the bruised apples, the flickering light bulbs in his hallway, and the way his boss, Mr. Henderson, perpetually forgot his name. I said no end pieces, Arthur stated, his voice trembling with a new fragile authority. And I want the premium roast, not the house brand. The deli clerk, a sallow man with eyes like flat stones, stared at him. Premium is $5 more, pal. You sure you can afford the standard? I am raising my standards, Arthur said, adjusting his tie. From now on, only the best. As he walked out, the world seemed to sharpen. The smog over the city felt like a personal insult, so he hailed a sleek, black town car instead of the bus. He didn't check the fare. He had standards now. He deserved the leather seats. By the time he reached his apartment, the transformation was complete. He threw his old polyester blazer into the incinerator. He sat at his desk and drafted a letter to his boss, demanding a corner office and a salary that matched his newfound self-worth. I will no longer settle, he typed, the keys clicking like gunfire. A knock came at the door, not the rhythmic tap of a neighbor, but a heavy, authoritative thud. Arthur opened it to find two men in impeccably tailored gray suits. They looked like statues carved from expensive silk. Mr. Arthur Miller? The taller one asked. His voice was like velvet over gravel. We're from the Office of Quality Control. We've received notice of your recent upgrades. Arthur beamed. Yes, I've decided to finally live up to my potential. I'm holding myself to the highest possible standard. We're pleased to hear it, the man replied, stepping inside without an invitation. He pulled a silver measuring tape from his pocket and began measuring the distance between Arthur's eyes. High standards are a two-way street, Arthur. If you demand the best from the world is entitled to the best from you. I don't understand, Arthur said, a cold sweat breaking out on his forehead. You've raised your Arthur Miller rating to an A+, the second man explained, opening a leather-bound ledger. But your current biological and intellectual output is barely a C-. You're currently in a quality deficit, and the universe doesn't allow for inflation. The taller man retracted his tape. Your heart rate is slightly irregular. Your vocabulary is limited. Your empathy levels are pedestrian. To maintain the standard you've set, we're going to have to make some adjustments. We can't have a premium standard man walking around with a discount bin soul. Wait, Arthur cried, backing into his kitchen. I'll go back. I'll take the house brand. I'll take the end pieces. The men smiled, and it was a cold, surgical expression. Too late, Arthur. You signed the contract the moment you refused to settle. You wanted the best? Now you're going to be the best. Whether you survive the process is quite beneath our standards. As they reached for him, the room began to dissolve into a clinical, blinding white. Arthur Miller's screams were high definition, crystal clear, and perfectly pitched, exactly as a man of his standing would expect. A cautionary tale for the ambitious, or perhaps a warning for the weary. Arthur Miller learned too late that excellence is a demanding master, one that doesn't just ask for your seat at the table, but for the very fiber of your soul. He wanted a life of high-definition clarity, and he got exactly what he asked for. Reconstructed, recalibrated, and refined until the original man was nothing more than a discarded prototype. The next time you find yourself reaching for the top shelf, be sure you're prepared for the height, because in this neighborhood, the cost of living doesn't go up with your salary, it goes up with your soul.